Welcome to Biggest Spoilars, the destination for exclusive spoilers, latest updates.
Port Charles is once again enveloped in a swirl of secrets, emotions, and high-stakes drama. Amidst the city's ongoing chaos, the young and perceptive Scout Quartermain finds herself carrying an emotional burden that weighs heavily on her heart. Though the world around her moves at a breakneck pace, filled with threats, schemers, and unexpected events, Scout's struggle is quieter but no less intense. Her young life is complicated by shifting family dynamics, parental expectations, and the deep, lingering ache of not being able to connect with the people she loves most. And in the midst of all this, Willow Kane, Scout's stepmother, finds herself drawn into a moment of honesty and revelation that will reverberate across her life and Drew Kane's. Scout's story unfolds in a deceptively simple setting, a car ride. Yet in soap opera terms, a car ride is rarely just a commute, it is a crucible, a private space where emotions can flow freely, unguarded and raw. In this confined space, Scout begins to articulate feelings she has kept bottled up, addressing her stepmother with words that are both innocent in delivery and devastating in implication. According to General Hospital spoilers, Scout's confession is succinct but heavy, 6 words that carry the emotional weight of months of frustration, sadness, and longing. These words, shared in the intimacy of that moment, will haunt Willow Kane, forcing her to reckon with the consequences of decisions and actions she may not yet fully comprehend. Scout's sadness stems primarily from her inability to see the extended family she cherishes. Alexis Davis, her grandmother, and her aunts have always been pillars of love and guidance in her life. The holidays, which should be a time of joy and connection, have instead become a source of disappointment. Scout's heartache is compounded by Drew Kane's increasingly rigid approach to parenting and protection. While Drew's intentions may be rooted in care and concern, his actions have inadvertently created a barrier between Scout and the family she loves. Her eyes, wide with both innocence and quiet frustration, reflect the struggle of a child trying to navigate adult decisions that impact her emotional well-being. Willow Kane, attuned to the young girl's emotional state, becomes an unexpected advocate. Recognizing the depth of Scout's unhappiness, Willow attempts to persuade Drew to allow Scout some time with her family. She argues for visits, for connection, and for a chance for Scout to engage with the people who have shaped her life beyond her father's immediate household. Willow's advocacy is measured, empathetic, and deeply invested. She sees the damage that isolation can cause in a child's life and strives to mediate between Drew's protective instincts and Scout's emotional needs. The tension in this scenario is palpable. While the audience is privy to the stakes, the show does not explicitly reveal Drew's response in that moment. Instead, the narrative cuts to Drew responding to a call from Jen Sidwell, leaving viewers hanging in suspense regarding whether Scout will get the family interaction she longs for. Undeterred, Willow takes initiative, demonstrating her protective instincts and growing maternal empathy towards Scout. She drives the child to Alexis' house, facilitating a reunion that is both joyous and fleeting. Scout's happiness is evident in her boundless energy as she runs to greet her grandmother, her aunts, and other loved ones like Christina Corinthos Davis and Molly Lansing Davis. This moment of joy, however, is undercut by the transient nature of her visit. Drew's restrictions, whether temporary or long-term, limit the duration of Scout's interaction with her family, creating a bittersweet emotional juxtaposition. The happiness of connection is tempered by the looming shadow of separation and restriction, reflecting the recurring soap motif of fleeting joy amidst ongoing tension. In the confines of Willow's car, Scout opens her heart. The conversation takes on a confessional tone, revealing layers of complexity in the young girl's emotional experience. General Hospital spoilers suggest that Scout expresses her discomfort with the changes in her father, admitting that Drew feels like a different person compared to the man she once knew. The child's honesty is both raw and piercing. She articulates feelings of estrangement, fear, and longing with a clarity that belies her years. Willow, empathetic and attentive, becomes a confidant, absorbing Scout's emotional revelations and providing reassurance, understanding, and guidance. Scout's admission may even include a statement of longing to live with Alexis, a profound expression of her desire for stability, love, and connection in the face of emotional turbulence. While she does not reject Drew outright, she articulates a desire for access to her extended family and a space where she feels consistently supported and safe. The emotional weight of such a confession cannot be understated. For Willow, the words serve as both a call to action and a source of personal reflection, highlighting the responsibilities she bears as a stepmother and guardian, as well as the moral complexity of navigating family dynamics in a city rife with secrets and danger. Willow's response to Scout is layered with encouragement, protection, and strategic foresight. She assures Scout that she will advocate for her, keep her best interests at heart, and attempt to guide Drew toward gentler, more empathetic parenting decisions. Willow's protective instincts extend beyond mere supervision. She internalizes Scout's vulnerability, positioning herself as both a shield and a guide. The narrative tension is amplified by the dual awareness that future threats may imperil Scout, both emotionally and physically, and that the young girl's well-being requires vigilance, empathy, and proactive intervention. The storyline also foreshadows a connection to pivotal events in Port Charles, including the potential significance of Scout's ringtone, "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star," in a broader narrative context. General Hospital spoilers suggest that this seemingly minor detail may tie into larger plot developments, including Drew's shooting incident and the eventual revelation of the assailant. While these connections are subtle, they reinforce the soap's intricate plotting, where minor details in one scene can cascade into consequential storylines, heightening suspense and dramatic tension. Throughout the unfolding narrative, the interplay between baptismal trials, encouragement, and angry threats is evident. Scout's emotional confession serves as a baptism of sorts, immersing both herself and Willow into the reality of Drew's emotional unavailability and the limitations imposed by adult decisions. Willow's words of reassurance, advocacy, and protective intent constitute the encouraging aspect, fostering hope, resilience, and the possibility of reconciliation or understanding. Meanwhile, the angry threats emerge implicitly, through the tension between Drew's authority, Scout's unmet needs, and the potential consequences of withheld communication or restricted family interaction. Each element combines to create a narrative rich in suspense, emotional resonance, and moral complexity. The narrative stakes are further heightened by the blizzard of Port Charles's ongoing events. While Scout and Willow navigate their personal drama, the city continues to contend with simultaneous crises, intersecting storylines, and external threats. Characters across Port Charles, ranging from Drew Kane to Alexis Davis, to Molly and Christina, to peripheral figures like Jen Sidwell and Kai Taylor, are all connected by overlapping narratives that influence and amplify one another. Scout's confession is thus not isolated, it is a catalyst that triggers ripple effects across the community, altering perceptions, relationships, and future decisions. For Drew, the revelation of Scout's emotional state and her candid words to Willow may precipitate a profound internal reckoning. His protective instincts, while genuine, must now contend with evidence that his approach is causing emotional strain. The tension between authority and empathy, between control and nurturance, becomes central to his character development. General Hospital fans will observe Drew navigating this precarious balance, responding with a mixture of reflective insight, protective concern, and potentially, anger or frustration, classic elements of soap opera drama that resonate deeply with viewers. Scout's innocence and honesty are pivotal to the narrative's emotional impact. By expressing her disappointment, longing, and desire for familial connection, she highlights the unintended consequences of adult decisions on children's emotional lives. Her confession underscores a central theme of the soap, that love, care, and guidance are complex, multi-layered, and frequently tested by circumstance, miscommunication, and secrecy. Drew's responses, Willow's advocacy, and Alexis' peripheral awareness all interact to create a high-stakes, emotionally charged environment where every word, gesture, and decision carries significant weight. As the narrative progresses, the anticipation of a big shooter reveal looms in the background, adding layers of suspense and foreshadowing. Willow's protective behavior and her deepening connection to Scout suggest that she will play a key role in both emotional guidance and future crisis management. Scout's emotional honesty acts as a catalyst for character growth, moral contemplation, and the emergence of strategic alliances that may influence broader storylines. Every confessional moment, intimate conversation, and revelation strengthens the audience's investment in the characters while amplifying dramatic tension. In terms of storytelling mechanics, the car ride between Scout and Willow serves as a concentrated microcosm of the soap's larger narrative strategy. Within this brief, confined interaction, themes of truth, longing, protection, temptation, and ethical complexity are all compressed and heightened. Scout's words function as narrative fulcrums, tipping the balance of emotional power, revealing latent truths, and catalyzing subsequent actions by multiple characters. Willow, positioned as both confidant and guardian, absorbs and mediates these revelations, illustrating her dual role as protector and moral agent within Port Charles. The emotional resonance of Scout's confession is amplified by the context of the holidays, the stress of familial separation, and the uncertainty surrounding Drew's decisions. The audience is invited to empathize with Scout's perspective, recognizing the tension between parental authority and the child's emotional needs. Willow's role reinforces the importance of advocacy, empathy, and protective intervention in navigating complex familial dynamics, while Drew's responses underscore the challenges of balancing responsibility, discipline, and emotional sensitivity. Ultimately, this storyline exemplifies the intersection of personal revelation, moral consequence, and dramatic tension that General Hospital excels at portraying. Scout's six-word confession is deceptively simple, yet it carries enormous weight. It encapsulates the pain of isolation, the longing for connection, and the difficulty of navigating adult-driven decisions from a child's perspective. Willow's response, balancing encouragement with protective vigilance, reflects the soap's enduring theme of guidance, mentorship, and moral stewardship. And Drew, caught between his authority, his love, and his responsibilities, embodies the ongoing struggle to reconcile intention with impact, authority with empathy, and love with limitation. The ripple effects of Scout's confession promise to shape narrative developments for weeks to come. Drew may confront his own shortcomings as a parent, reevaluate his approach to family decisions, and navigate the complex interplay of trust, authority, and emotional availability. Willow's role as confidant and protector may expand, influencing future plotlines and crises. Alexis, though not directly present during the car ride, remains a central figure whose awareness and influence will intersect with these emotional revelations. The intricate layering of character motives, relationships, and narrative consequences ensures that this storyline will remain central to Port Charles's dramatic landscape. As the week unfolds, viewers can expect heightened tension, emotional confrontations, and moments of both tenderness and conflict. Scout's honesty, Willow's protective instincts, and Drew's emotional processing provide fertile ground for drama, suspense, and character development. The combination of baptismal trials, encouraging words, and angry threats, the signature rhythm of soap opera storytelling, ensures that this storyline will resonate deeply, delivering both heartache and hope, conflict and resolution, within the rich tapestry of General Hospital. After Joss takes power out on Ladle Island, Anna thinks she sees Faison from home. Trina ends a call with Kai when her mama shows up. She wouldn't be ignored presently. Trina lets her in, but she's unwelcoming. At her mama's decree, she makes tea and tells her she'll be in her room. Portia stops her. She loves Trina and wants to get to the bottom of this. Trina lets loose, asking how she could dare cheat on her pater. Get knocked up and let him suppose the baby's his when she doesn't indeed know who the daddy is. Portia explains how their marriage wasn't ever easy, that her falsehoods didn't help and that Jordan played a part in undermining their marriage. Trina thinks this is her MO, she cheated on Taggart and now Curtis. She hopes Dr. Gannon knows what he's in for. Portia owns her infidelity but says it takes two. Trina thinks, anyhow of the verity, she'd have let everyone suppose the baby was Curtis's, because that's what you are. A fabricator. Portia reprises she loves her son, is proud of her and is sorry she prevaricated. In the morning, she just wanted to give Tryon a family. She knew Marcus would be a great father. Portia says she did her stylish. She's not perfect but hopes Trina doesn't make those same miscalculations she did. However, she wouldn't love her lower, if so. She breaks down and apologizes for treating her like a sprat. Occasionally we do'n't live up to each other's prospects. She asks if Trina can love her anyway. Nathan finds Lulu at the sanitarium. They bandy Charlotte disabling her Find My Phone app and how she took off. She asks for his help in chancing her. She fills him in on what went down before. He thinks she's a lot like Lulu and smirks. They wonder if phone lines are down since nothing's answering at the forces. When Rocco appears, he's told what's up and Lulu plans to drop him at the QS to hang with Danny. Carly rushes into the garret at home but finds Valentine alone. She explains that Charlotte took off and expects her to be there soon. She explains why and he's incontinently on edge. He's been tracking the storm and worries that she'll get lost or snap. Carly stops him from going out to find her, telling him he needs to stay it out. They argue at length and she eventually distracts him with a board game. Charlotte arrives at the queues to see Danny. She tells him her mama thinks she's headed to see the steed. She wants to see her pater. And plans on going through the forest land. Danny tells her it's virtually a whiteout outdoors. They sit in front of a fire and she tells him that she eavesdropped Nina talk to Jack about setting her up. She's upset that she fell for it. She allowed. Nina was good to her. She rolls in unbelief but Danny thinks she's just trying to cover her son. Charlotte needs to tell her pater. Before it's too late. Danny offers to go with her. He dresses and gets her some gear since she had tennis shoes on. He vows he'll no way lie to her. He gets a phone announcement telling people to stay outdoors. He asks her to stay it out but latterly, when Rocco arrives, nothing's home and the fire is still going. Joss breaks into Windmere using a flashlight when she hears a noise. She takes out her gun and hides as Cullum starts lighting candles around the room. She recognizes him before calling out for Uncle Lucas. She rushes outside and greets him, running to the fireplace to warm up. She lies that she was on her way to a friend's place on a near islet. He tells her everyone awaited the storm out on the landmass and introduces himself as Matthew. When he asks, she covers by telling him the islet she was headed to was Porter Island. They were having a cask bash during the blizzard. He suggests they get to know each other. He offers brandy and thinks there's further to her than just being a pupil. She shrugs. What you see is what you get. He thinks there's further to it. At Anna's, Emma and Gio prepare to go to Drew's. They dispute about him not bringing gloves. He'll need his fritters for playing violin again one day. They partake a tender moment. She gets him ski gloves, also shares another moment and a kiss before taking off. They return soon after. Drew's road has been shut down so they're lodging down together. They smile at each other and hope Tracy's stranded at home. He wraps her in a mask and they sit on the lounge and he warms her with a kiss that turns to further as they lay on the lounge together. Tracy arrives at Drew's house, lets herself in and dusts the snow off herself before searching for the cute cairn. There's a fire going, which surprises her. Behind her, Martin says, "Just so you know, I'm within my legal rights to shoot you." She jumps. He calls her overdressed for breaking and entering. She calls him a squatter and a sniveling worm. She threatens again to nab him for phony. He thinks Laura would be worried about that. When he sees she has a key, she realizes she took advantage of Scout. They continue arguing and Martin asks if she has no compassion for Drew, who can't indeed move in a sanitarium bed. She snaps that if she had none, she'd have let him die the way he did to her son while he was having a heart attack. Martin doesn't blink what he did and it's too stormy for her to bother trying to take the memorials. He offers to let her stay if she asks nicely. Lulu and Nathan arrive at the cafe. Nothing's there. General Hospital spoilers indicate that we've a question: will the real Drew Kane stand up? This replication of Drew is nothing like the philanthropic Navy SEAL that suckers came to know and love. What the heck got into him to make him such a lozenge? Would you believe that this Drew isn't pretender? It's a fascinating proposition making the rounds on socials and we're about to break down what could be the fiddle of the century where Drew is concerned. Is Drew really Drew? Drew is wedded Willow Kane, the woman who tried to kill him, doubly. Right now he suffers from locked-in pattern after Willow seduced a stroke from him. Numerous suckers do and condemn her for her illegal conduct, given how spiteful Drew has been. Drew has been acting out of character for times and with the former SEAL unfit to move or speak, We suspect that the show is about to pull a huge whopper on the followership. Soapy shenanigans detergents are ignominious for wild shenanigans. And this includes fakers masquerading as real people. What are the chances that Drew is who he purports himself to be? Drew's oddities started after he was released from Pentonville. Captivity could turn the mildest character into a monster, but we prognosticate that there could be more proceeding in this situation. How easy would it be for an evil reality to perform a switcheroo with Drew while he was locked down from his favored bones? Will the real Drew stand up? The most enticing indication about a possible identity switch are the hijinks of Jen Sidwell and Ross Cullum. They're thick as Steelers, which is accessible because they're Steelers. Rumors of lawless cloning are sticking to them like cement, and that would explain how nice Drew came nasty Drew. Did Willow marry a clone? Decades ago, Days of Our Lives vented the first cleaner mortal cloning story with Dolly, a clone of Reva Shane. We suppose it's time for another one. The technology is so advanced. Tell us what you suppose, GH suckers. Do you suppose it's possible that Drew was exposed to lab trial that redounded in cloning? Red Hot General Hospital spoilers allude that there are further Drew interruptions coming on, and we will bring you all of the updates as they come available.